Sometimes I'm genuinely convinced that the only mistake Thanos made was not getting rid of more of you people, because I have gone down a spiral, one which I cannot fathom to comprehend by myself, which is why I'm sharing it with you today. R slash nice guys. This subreddit, this subreddit is quite possibly the greatest piece of non-fictional storytelling since ever, honestly, ever. I can't think of a greater piece of literature. Now, of course, it's not one continuous story. It's all about these posts of these poor women who've just been assaulted, honestly, by these random guys who slide into their DMs and are very nice to them, but in actuality, all they usually want is sex. So what I've done today is I've prepared some that I saw and that I thought were really, really funny. And we're just going to go over them. We're going to laugh together because these are amazing. Hopping straight to the first one, I have three. Hopping straight to the first one, we have a post from a girl who got some guy to add her on Snapchat, and then she had this little thing unfold. So I'll show it right here. Read it if you want, pause it if you want. But just the absolute 0 to 100 drop here is insane. I mean, I've seen skydivers gain speed slower than that. I've seen people jump out of planes and go slower than this guy went ballistic on this poor girl. So he starts by saying, "You're so beautiful." Standard compliment. Standard compliment. I feel like any girl wants to hear that she's pretty. But unaware to this guy, unbeknownst to him, she's taken. Whether it's she has boyfriend, girlfriend, I do not know. But she just says she's taken. That should be the turning point. Any reasonable human who sees that should see, oh, I messed up. Okay, my bad. I'll leave you alone. I'm sorry for bothering you. Not this guy though. Not Mr. Pussy Machine over here. He's got more important things on his agenda. So he responds, "Did I ask?" No, you didn't, which is part of the problem. You should have, but you didn't. So then, before the poor girl can even respond, she's probably seen this, but she doesn't even have a chance to respond. He says, there's such a thing as just being nice. I didn't really think you were beautiful. The why hit her up? Why say it? This is obvious baiting. This is so obviously just like pushing it to the side. Like, I don't care about you anyways. Okay, I just don't. I was just gonna give you a chance, which is something he literally says here. I think, where does he say it? Yeah, I saw you and felt bad because you probably get a lot of people saying you're ugly, but yes, nobody wants you, dog. Just that emasculating like viewpoint of, if I can't have her, nobody can, or if she's not mine, then she doesn't deserve anybody, is amazing. It's the cherry on the cake, and the best part is that every single cake has that cherry. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it more than anything. So then he says, and this for me is where the cookie crumbled. This is where like his chances to get with this girl went from a 1 trillionth of a percent to actually zero. Is he says, "I got 10 different girls, and in my dick, you think I really care about you? LMAO, bye." That's not a flex, my guy. It's not a flex to not be able to hold a relationship with a girl or girls that you actually care about. That's not impressive. I don't know why. They all try this too. I've seen thousands of threads, thousands of messages. Literally every single one of them goes to this as like their go-to excuse. It's like, "I don't need you. I have so many bitches on my dick constantly. I do not need you at all." But that's just not good. That's what do they think that's going to do? Do they think that's going to turn the tide? Do they think that this poor girl is going to see that and they're going to go, "Oh my god, so many girls on a stick. It must be huge. Why am I not on it? Why is it not in me? What the take me, bro. Just take me." I find it so funny every single time. So then he says, "LMAO, LMAO." He says, "LMAO, bye." This is where she responds. Poor girl's probably been watching this unfold for like 5 minutes as he goes on these like schizo rants. And then she says, "Why so hostile? Is a lady not allowed to draw boundaries? No need to be rude, child. And you just admitted to being a player that sleeps around. That's gross. They can have you." My point stands. Not interested by it. She doesn't like it. She's just not into it. Um, Now, I'm honestly surprised. This was the only image for this specific issue, by the way. Um, and I really thought there would be another message from him talking about how she called him a child. Like, I'm not a child. I got so many bitches on my dick, and you're never gonna be one of them. Kids wouldn't have bitches on their dick. I assumed he would just dig himself a really deep hole like that. It would be really funny. But he actually didn't respond. This is the end, because I'm assuming after she said bye, now she blocked him. Because that's, let's all be honest here, that's the reasonable thing to do here. You wouldn't want to keep talking to this person. You wouldn't want to keep receiving messages from them. So she most likely blocked him. And that's what I would do. That's what I think anybody else should do in this situation. But she did a very good job of taking a screenshot and posting this first, because what a saga. Honestly, short but sweet. It covers so much ground in such a short amount of time. Talking about they can have you. I'm too loyal to my partner to act like trash like that. Cheaters never prosper. Just hitting him with that final before finally blocking him. And I guarantee that there would be more messages if she was unblocked about this guy just absolutely geeked over her. Just talking about how she's a bitch, going off like that. Uh, Thankfully, though, if he keeps using this strategy, he'll probably never get a girlfriend. So at least one of you will be safe from having to be near this ever. Man, it's sad, but it's funny. And that wraps up story one. Let's go to story two now. I like the second one. The second one is interesting. The second one's fun because there's actually no females involved. It was a screenshot taken by a lady who felt this way about a topic post that she saw on, I think this is Instagram. I don't know. Or is it? I don't know. Either way, let's hop into it. Of course, I'm going to show it right here for you if you want to read it yourself. Uh, First thing to unpack here is the name of the guy making the post. His name is Masculinity Rediscovered. That's not, I believe it or not, I actually don't think there's enough of it currently to rediscover it in the first place. The fact that he also has the two alarm emojis by his name is also really funny to me. Just like this is some grand thing that nobody could possibly think of. Shakespeare couldn't possibly come up with what this guy is thinking of. His brain works at such a magnitude that he is operating at a solid 16 brain cells per minute. So, in his infinite wisdom, which he clearly has, he decides to make a post. The post reads, "Dear women, or just women, sorry. Blue hair does not make you attractive or give you attention in any positive way. Natural hair is the way to go. Sincerely, all men." Already, he has fumbled severely here by saying all men, because it's so hard. It's really so hard. And already he's fumbled so bad here by talking about all men, just because it's so difficult to try to actually be not even a nice guy, but just a normal human being when guys like this are walking around and making posts like this. It's like that story a long time ago, not a long time ago, actually, it was quite recent. I don't know if you saw it. This guy rubbed one out on this poor girl at a gas station, committed the crime, the horrific crime, and then ran away. And I saw that, and all the comments on it were like, bro set us back 15 years. Bro set us back to the Neolithic period. Soon we're going to be fighting for our rights, because Jesus, the fact that these people exist is so funny to me, but also so painful that, like, this is not satire. There are dudes who genuinely think this and are convinced that what they say is like the gospel spoken truth. Anyways, let's go back into this. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Um, Another thing is that he's just wrong. I know a lot of guys who are attracted to women with dyed hair. Maybe not certain colors, but dyed hair in general they don't have a problem with. Me, in fact, I don't have a problem with dyed hair. I think most of it looks pretty good. Now, of course, there are situations. If it's a certain color, then maybe I'll be like, that's not the best. But I'm not gonna do this about it. I'm not gonna go up to you and go, hey, ugly, stupid bitch, ugly whore, you should not have your hair dyed that color because it displeases me. It displeases me. I will never say that, because that's wrong. And I feel like not even any guy, any person should have the decency to not do that. But this guy clearly doesn't. And then there's always that cherry. There's always that cherry. This guy comes in, Matt McCauley, at Java 4. He says, exactly. I have no idea how a woman thinks a rainbow hair color is attractive to men. Example, a previously very sexy 20 something woman I know spent a few $100 in a high end salon to look like this, thinking it was hot. Many women don't understand male sexual attraction. First things first, that's gorgeous. All right, that's a beautiful hair color. I think that's very nice. There's a little spot in the middle there that the picture's probably just not doing it justice because this doesn't look like a very well taken photograph, but it does. The hair looks kind of gray and bland compared to the vibrant purples around it. But I actually do think that this is a very nice hair color for this lady to have. Also, male sexual attraction. What? Since when does that? Since when does that only apply to hair? Are you only apply? Do you only care about a woman's hair? You only care about hair in general? Do you see Bigfoot walking through the forest and just get bricked up instantly, thinking that maybe she'll give you a knobber? Because personally, hair doesn't really do it for me. I don't really care about hair that much. In fact, some very gorgeous women, usually African American women, they go bald. They just go full bald. I still think they can rock that shit. I think it goes very hard. But this guy, God. It, it's also funny because look what he says. He says, example, a previously very sexy 20-something-year-old woman. He acts like this 20, we'll say she's 23. Well, he acts like this 23-year-old woman got her hair dyed and then also like gained 600 pounds, lost all media literacy, and like started going out of the house wearing like My Little Pony shirts and like sandals. She just ruined everything about her. No, she just wanted to be a little creative. She just wanted to express herself. That's what this type of stuff is usually for. I had a girlfriend a long time ago. She got highlights in her hair. She had brown hair. They were like these red maroon highlights. I thought they looked great. I also think these look great because it's like it's just not as bad as he's making it. I really don't understand the drama over this. I think it really highlights the lack of mental stimulation that these guys have because you have to search for this stuff. Okay, you don't. This isn't just something that you find. This isn't something that blew up. This is a very small post from like two dudes that do not have like major followings. They're not like Mr. Beast level famous. They're just straight up basically having a one-sided conversation about what makes women attractive, but they're both wrong, and no woman feels like they should waste their time with these guys, which is true. They shouldn't. They really shouldn't. Um, but that's just about it for this post. This one, I really like this one though. This one was really funny, especially since they're both wrong. Also, never end a post with like sincerely all men, all women, all trans people, all black people. Do not ever end with like trying to speak for a whole group because I guarantee you, no matter what you're speaking on, somebody is going to disagree with you that is a part of that group. For example, I'm an outlier here. I think dyed hair can be very attractive. So already they're very incorrect. The only instance in which you should, not which you should never do this, but the only instance in which you could put a tag like that is if you don't need it in the first place. Like if let's say Chris Brown, or he might not be the best example, Chris Rock made a post saying that slavery was bad. You don't need to put sincerely all black people because guess what? They already agree, and it's like very obvious. That should be the only situation where you could use it, is where you don't have to. But still, that's enough for these two for now. I might dive into masculinity rediscovered at a later date, just because this was amazing. It was just so beautiful to see the lack of brain waves working together. I feel like this guy stuck his head in a microwave, put it on pizza reheat, and just let the thing irradiate his brain. But that's going to can it for number two. We're going to open number three now, and that one is good. That one's more of a story. It's not just a single image. There's actually a couple because it's a whole text chain. So the third one that we have here is between two people who were friends for a very long time. I read a little bit into the person who posted this. I did a little bit of research, not too much. I just wanted to take this sort of at face value because really that's all you need. All you need to do is take this at face value and you'll realize how stupid it is. So I'll show it here. Let's start off simple. Don't open a conversation like this guy did unless you know for a 100% fact it will be well received. Can I send you something bad? Ew, just don't do that. Um, and then she is like, something bad, question mark. And he goes, yeah, bad, not at all answering her question and just making her more confused, because she does reply. She's like, huh? What the fuck are you talking about? And then he says something you don't show in public. This is where things pick up, because if he's like something you shouldn't show in public, you probably shouldn't be sending it over text at all. Um, so she says, I don't think that's a good idea while you're dealing with feelings for me, because this is after he had already confessed to her and after she had rejected him initially. But of course, being who he is, this guy, that's not going to stop him. That's not going to stop the pussy slayer, the machina of bitches. Nothing's going to put him down. A nuclear missile could not put him down. So he says, I'm going to send it anyway, YOLO. Don't do that. Don't do it. You've been explicitly told, like, no. I don't think that's a good idea. Anything besides a yes is a no. Moving on to the next one, he then sends this. It's not even that good of a meme, honestly. And the thing is, he probably had a dick pic ready. Like, he probably had his knob out, professional lighting too, like a .5 image to make it look real big. You know what I'm talking about? Because let's be real, it's probably the size of a Taiwanese chopstick. He sees how badly she received his last text and was like, you know what? Let's just send this. Let's be safe. I guarantee he had them both saved back to back and was like, however she responds, I will send her this one. So then he says, really bad, huh? Um, Couple laughing emojis. Did you at least think it was funny? I done messed up, didn't I? Crap. This is the one thing that absolutely sets me off, that I absolutely hate, when the guy is like role playing with himself, without even getting the woman's without even getting the woman to reply first. He's like, oh, I done messed up, didn't I? Oh crap! Oh, I'm so coy. Oh, I'm such a bad boy. Like, shut up, shut up. This is what text messaging is for. It's for a two-sided conversation involving two people. You should not, by any means, be talking to yourself, essentially, especially like in view of the other person. And then she does finally respond about, I think, 6 minutes later. She's like, it was a dumb joke, and I was in a bad mood. You're fine. Don't worry about it. And he's like, oh, okay. Sorry. Your mood isn't good. I just wanted to make you laugh. Again, I'm sorry. The overuse of the word sorry is a very dangerous sign, because a lot of the times, if the guy needs to say sorry that many times, it's because he doesn't mean it. Because typically, the way an apology should go is one sorry, or one like my bad, followed by an explanation, and being just like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you didn't feel that way. I promise I won't ever do anything again. That's an apology, not like, oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't know. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh. This guy clearly does not mean it at all. He was thinking that it was going to be well received, and now he's trying to play it off because I guess she just like still has her pants on, and that has him in an absolute chokehold. How could any woman refuse this fine piece of a man? Fine piece of a man, I mean. So then she this is kind of the bad part, because she keeps entertaining this. I understand they were friends for a very long time, but if it's really as bad as you say, like, don't keep talking to him, because then she just says it's fine, not the best topic though. Again, putting him down, as she should. And then he says, no, I realize it's in poor taste, especially with the whole feelings deal. Man, I suck at talking to girls I actually like. This is horrible. Game is not game. All right. You hear that, guys? Game is not game. It is possible to not know what you're doing at all, and that can mess you up really bad on the dating scene. Because the fact that I also think we need to deconstruct that this was sent in a separate message. So he probably sent that first one, especially with the whole feelings deal. I was like, oh, does she know what I'm talking about? Does she know what I mean? And then ended up sending this one after probably 5 to 10 minutes of contemplation and like watching a YouTube video online called "How to Get Girls to Like You" by like an Andrew Tate spam account. You guys remember him? He was funny. I never liked him. She tells him, just forget about it, forget about your feelings, just pretend I'm one of your other friends, because I'm not going to reciprocate what you feel. And he's like, oh, that's kind of hard. You are my high school crush, but I'll try. Oh, dude. you're my high school crush, but I'll try. If you're into someone or you're crushing on them, don't tell them like how long you've had feelings unless they actually reciprocate them and you guys start going out, because then it's just awkward. Because then it's more of like, hey, I really like you, and I was wondering if we could go out sometime. Yeah, no, I'm just not like into you at all. I just really don't want to. Sorry, it's nothing against you. I just don't feel like it right now. Like, but I've been in love with you for 3 full moons. No, shut up. Nobody cares. And if they do care, it's not for the reason you think. It's probably to take a screenshot like this and post it, which again, golf clap. Golf clap to this lady for doing, because give me something great to laugh about on my day off. So then he said, where were we? Ah, so then she responds and she's like, yeah, but that's something you're trying to get past, so act like it isn't the way it is. Honestly, props to her. I know at first I was kind of saying like maybe she should just push this guy off a little bit more, but she is actually kind of trying to help him now, which is good. I think people deserve a second chance. This guy, maybe his second chance should take a few months or years of therapy, but I don't think he's done anything drastic yet. And then he said, I can try to, but I'm not sure I really want to get past it. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. If you tell your significant, well, not significant other, that's actually the opposite of what these two are. But if you tell somebody to like not do something, or to quit thinking about something, or to quit thinking of you in a way, and they're like, sorry, I just can't. That's a sign that you should run. That's a sign that you should leave immediately. That she asks why not, because I'm sure she's confused about this whole thing. And he says, I meant my crush on you. I'm not sure I want to get past that. Dude, you've been told no like 6 different times. Take the L. It's not that hard. I'm not asking you to invade Normandy. I'm asking you to go search for some other women. Maybe there's one or two out there that are actually into this strategy. Probably not, but who knows? Maybe you'll find one. Again, she just asks why. She's clearly confused. Poor girl. And he says, I'm getting the sense that you want me to get over it. Yes, actually, that's what she's been telling you for about 20 minutes now. And she's like, I'm getting the sense that you're avoiding the question. That part I don't really get. I feel like he's been pretty clear about not wanting to move past her, and she's been pretty clear about wanting to move past him. So I don't really get that one. But either way, this is where the monologue begins. It's like, why don't I? Because clearly my feelings are deep enough to withstand years of friend zoning and being a background character. But I'm getting that. Let me go to the next one. But I'm getting the impression you want me to drop them, and you're unable to just come out and say it. Um, this is where the villain stuff really begins, of him talking about like the friend zone and how badly like he's been stuck in it, and how he's only ever wanted her, and he's always wanted to be more than friends. Which I think that if you're actually interested in a female, you should make your feelings known very quickly, so that this doesn't happen, so that you know, kind of like the first one we saw, where he immediately flirted with her, she immediately shut him down, and that ended very, very quickly. This has been going on for a few years. I feel so bad for her, honestly, because this is a guy that she trusted. This is a guy that she actually felt safe around. And then when she finally wants to tell him no after all of his pushing, he just cannot accept it. And it's terrible. Honestly, it's terrible. So then she says, think about Tuesday night and tell me what you think. I'd like you to get past your feelings. Good night, I assume his name. I also think that Tuesday night is referring to either some of the earlier text messages, or maybe a conversation they had in person where he actually confessed his feelings to her. But this is where we get into the notes, the stuff that wasn't just in the text messages, the stuff that was so long it had that little tiny see more button at the bottom. And the first one actually comes from her, comes from the girl. Uh, Apparently, he sent her a YouTube link to a song. I'm guessing it was a very romantic song. I didn't actually see what it was. But she says, I don't know why you sent me a YouTube link on Instagram, nor do I know what your intention for the song was. However, if your intention was to make me feel guilty or blame me for your problems, there's a bigger problem between us, a bigger one. So let's be straight up with me. So be straight up with me. Why did you send me that song? A very straightforward question. And of course, the guy he's not exactly going to avoid it, but he's not going to give a sufficient answer. He's going to say, because I thought you would like it. Is that why? Is that why? Let's be real here. So then she says, the last time you sent me a song with no context, you blew up with me. You blew up at me for not having feelings for you. This is an important piece of lore here because it shows that this guy is not always this calm demeanor. Right now, he's actually been very calm throughout this conversation. He's been wrong. He's been blatantly wrong and incorrect very frequently, but he has also stayed calm. So this, knowing that he's going to freak out, knowing that he probably has like anger issues, that actually helps us in our verdict a lot. And then he says, I know that was back then. I just wanted to share it and wasn't sure how to talk to you after last time. I don't want to fight. The reason you're unsure about how to talk to her is because she doesn't want to talk to you. You're pushing this on her. She clearly doesn't want to talk to you anymore, or at least if she does, it's only as mutual friends who have just genuine respect for each other and no further intentions. And then he says, I don't want to fight, which I don't really get because he's sort of setting it up. I feel like he's almost tempting her to say something rude so that he has an excuse to blow up on her. But she very intelligently, she stays calm. She's like, I think you should take some time to work out your feelings. I don't tolerate guilt anymore. And that's exactly what you hit me with the other night, playing on her feelings, being very manipulative. We've seen this all before. So then he says, I don't agree on the guilt part, but I can leave you alone if that's what you want. I already know where I stand. Texting is bad for tone. That sounds harsh, but I don't mean for it to sound harsh, more like a polite disagreement. It doesn't exactly sound harsh, that first part. I don't think he's right about that. I don't think it sounds harsh. I think it sounds stupid. The fact that he's like, I don't agree on the guilt part. Guess what? I don't care what you agree on, because that's what she said in her own self-interest, of her own best intentions. So this guy clearly cannot read social situations, which, not gonna lie, has been established very previously up to this, but now it is on full display. His inability to process his own emotions. Moving on a little bit more, another note from her. She says, the friend zone doesn't exist. It's a toxic concept. It gives way to a preconceived notion that all friendships will result in sex unless the terrible monster that is the friend zone jumps in. No, that's not how it works. I refuse to feel guilty for not having feelings for you. And that was the tone of your messages. And whether you did it purposefully or not, I'm not having it. Fair enough. Very responsible on her part. She had a very good take on the friend zone. I don't really care for the friend zone. I think it's a goofy topic as well, but she put it into better words than I think I ever could. And then of course we get the response from him in a full note. This is the juicy one right here. He says the friend zone does not exist because girls created it, but that's not what's at play here. Did I say it doesn't exist? He said the friend zone does exist because girls created it, but that's not what's at play here. My issue is for a while you never said how you actually felt. You always gave half answers or blamed me for having feelings, which I no longer have. For your information, I just wanted to know where you stood, but you would never answer. Just mixed signals and leading on. Let's pause right there, right before the but. Let's deconstruct what he just said. He's just said that he doesn't believe the friend zone exists, or at least he believes it exists as propaganda, because everyone knows that talking to a girl is just about as stressful, painful, and complicated as both world wars, the Vietnam War, the Cold War, uh, the South Sudan Civil War, any war you can think of. It's about at that magnitude. Then he always talks about her giving half-baked answers. I don't think that's true. I think she's given him either very clear answers or he just wasn't clear enough in expressing his feelings, because this guy clearly doesn't know how to handle his own emotions. So he would probably say something very, very vague. She would answer it the best that she could, and then he would just not be able to interpret it because he did not ask he did not ask a specific question or request a specific answer. That's just that part. That's like the first third of the message. And then he says, but you finally said it, and I feel super relieved. I don't have feelings for you. There it is, the thing I've wanted confrontation on for a long time. As I told you, I met someone. It's young, well, and I'm happy. It's young, well. I don't know what he means. I think that's a typo. Um, so here is actually the good point in the story. Not for the world, because apparently he's gotten a new female under his spell. That's not good. That's bad. He'll probably be having the same conversation with her in a couple months when he asks to put it in the stink, and she's just like, no, thank you. I don't really want to do that. But for right now, at least our protagonist is safe. At least our protagonist will not have to go through any more of his shenanigans, tomfoolery, and or mischief. Just a lot to deconstruct here across this entire message, honestly. So next up, he says, any guilt you felt is completely created by you, not me. In that one sentence, he has undone all of the work that he might have tried to achieve with this in making her feel remorse for him and empathy towards him by blaming everything on her, saying that none of this is his fault, which is a very common manipulation tactic. Don't fall for it. It's usually super easy to recognize. I mean, in this one, how could it be more textbook than that? It's not my fault, it's yours. He pretty much said that word for word. And then he goes, you were the one engaged, not me. You're the one that engaged me, not the other way around. I was willing to still be friends, but clearly that isn't possible. You have not made that clear at all, my friend. I don't know if they had other messages after or before this, but he has not made it clear at all that he could be friends with her. He actually said earlier that I don't think I could like live in any world where you're not the huzz fine shite for me. So I think that's really funny, just the deflecting. It's great. And then he says, so I don't know what to say. Clearly, your issue is with men. I'm not like other guys. I don't have some secret agenda to manipulate girls to get into their pants. I'm super sensitive and wear my heart on my sleeve. So sue me for being emotional, but the last thing is letting you paint me as a villain. I don't want any part of your drama if that's how you're going to be. I have I've seen horror movies that have gotten less of a visceral guttural reaction from me than that statement, that entire chunk of that. This is where he literally turns into a nice guy. He pretty much says it. And I don't know how. Like, do you write this and then do you just not read it back to yourself? Do you not think as you're writing it, like, this might be a little bit awkward, this might be a little bit goofy and awkward? He literally says, I'm not like other guys. I don't have some secret agenda to manipulate girls to get into their pants. I'm super sensitive and wear my heart on my sleeve. That piece of evidence contextualizes everything he said so far as just complete hogwash to try to get into this girl's pants, because that's all he's doing. He he's been manipulating her. I've said it myself. Like, every time I notice it, I've said it. He's manipulated her so many other times, clearly to get into her pants, because all he wants is a sexual relationship. And when she won't reciprocate that, then he blows up and he does this stuff. Oh, man. And he says I'm super sensitive and wear my heart on my sleeve. That's not always a good thing, because it leads to stuff like this where you blow up over nothing. You got to have a little bit of emotional integrity, especially as a guy. You need to have that like discipline. You have to be able to control yourself, and he clearly cannot. He clearly cannot. This is all his, like, this is his fault completely. But that is essentially the end of this great saga, this great text chain between this poor girl and this guy, the soy jack versus the sigma female. She did good. I think she handled the situation very well. She didn't get aggressive. She clearly explained what she thought, and she brushed him off in the end. However, this thing from him was the last thing on the text chain, so I don't know what happened after this. I do believe she just blocked him and cut off all communications with him, probably after reading that last sentence, because wow, sheesh, that is just bad. Um, but there you have it. R slash nice guys, quite possibly the greatest culmination of brain dead soy jacks the internet has ever seen, maybe even the world has ever seen. And it's destroyed my faith in humanity. I was starting to be in a good mood. I was starting to like just be happy. But then I learned of this subreddit, and it all just got destroyed. But it is sad. And it's funny. And this is also very good as educational material. Like, we should be able to reflect on this as a society and realize that this behavior is bad. Like, you should know, you should read this and be like, okay, if I ever have to talk to a girl, which, don't get me wrong, I would never do. That's way too scary. But like, if I would ever talk to a girl, I should not say this, that, this, and that, because you get those terrible reactions. And also, guys got to realize that not all guys, again, like I said earlier, don't ever reference like every member of a group, because they're not all like that. But the guys who genuinely think like this, you got to understand that that's not at all what women want. Mostly because they all want different things, because unlike your objectivizing asses, they're actually all individuals with their own moral compasses and personal agendas, and they deserve to be treated like individuals, not like these objects that are leading you on and toying with your emotions. I don't know where that schizophrenic mindset comes from, because I can't think of a single time a female has ever actually done that to me or like anywhere else on the internet, to the point where a guy deserves to get like this defensive and angry about it. But I digress, because that's all I have for you right now. I thought this was amazingly funny, very embarrassing. I got some secondhand embarrassment, some chest pain. I don't think I'm going to be able to walk tomorrow from the cardiac arrest I'm going to send myself into by looking this over again. But it has been this has been an experience. Please let me know if you want more. I would love to make more of this because it is just so damn funny all the time.